Hello, so today I'll be teaching you about the perfection stage in a transaction for conveyance of title in land. Now, you know that in a conveyancing transaction, there are five stages that we have. First, you have the pre-contract stage, and then you have the contract stage, then you have the post-contract stage, you have the completion stage, and then the post-completion stage, which is also known as the perfection stage. Now, in the final stage, which is the perfection stage, there are three activities that take place. All right, you have, first of all, obtaining governor's consent, and then you have stamping of the instrument, and then you have registration of title. Those are the three activities that are needed for perfection of the transaction. In that order: governor's consent, stamping, and registration. An easy acronym to remember it by CSR. So that's consent, C, then stamping, S, and registration of title, R. So the first activity there is the obtaining of governor's consent. So of course, it's very important to seek and obtain consent of the governor of the state because the Land Use Act vests title in all lands in the governor, and so any transaction conveying title without his approval, without his consent, will be inchoate, which means it is not completed. Now, the next activity, which is stamping of the instrument, is of course paying stamp duties. In these transactions, the paying stamp duties is done ad valorem, which means it's a percentage of the overall value of the transaction, while in those transactions, like in powers of attorney, it's just at a fixed rate. But here is ad valorem. And then the final activity, registering of title, is of course now registering your title at the lands registry of that state. Now, what would be the effect of failure to stamp the instrument, to stamp the deed of assignment, for instance? Now, if the instrument is not stamped, then it cannot be registered. All right, it's not registrable, and if it's not stamped as well, it would be inadmissible as evidence in court. And then what would be the effect of failure to register your instrument? Now, failure to register the instrument, again, would mean it would be inadmissible as evidence in court. And if you have competing titles to land, the registered title would always be given priority over title that is not registered. And so it's very important that title is registered. However, what you should note about registration of title is that if a title has defects, so it means it has certain problems, registering it does not cure those problems. All right, registering the title would only give notice of such defects in the title. So those are the three activities in the perfection stage. That is how to perfect a transaction where there's conveyancing of title in land. First activity, again, is obtaining governor's consent. Second activity is stamping the title. And third activity is registering the title.